Every day there are new sellers coming up quick and making some serious cash on Amazon. I see it all the time. But there are also sellers who are going broke. Now, why is that? Listen up, because if you're a new seller or you're an aspiring new seller on Amazon, this is very important. Okay? If you don't want to go broke, you need to ask yourself these 3 questions.
I'm in the jungle. I'm in the Amazon. I'm in the jungle. I'm in the Amazon.
What's up, Empire Builders? JT Franco here, the no bullshit Amazon seller. So if you don't want to go broke on Amazon, make sure to subscribe. If you haven't already, if you're already an Empire Builder, welcome back. Hopefully your empire is going strong. So what are the 3 things you need to ask yourself to make sure you're not going to go broke on Amazon? This is very serious. This is kind of like you just sit down and really analyze and think about this, because if you're just brand new, I'm catching you at a great time. If you're thinking about getting into this, this is a good video to sit and watch and make sure you're analyzing and really thinking about this to make sure you're not risking money that you don't need to be risking. Okay, so the first question you need to ask yourself is, can I afford it? Okay, can I afford to get into Amazon FBA? And that's a very serious question that a lot of people are just kind of ignoring. And I see a lot of people just skim past this and they look at the best case scenario, right? I heard someone started with $500 and they made a bunch of money with fidget spinners. Maybe I can do the same thing. So they have $600, $700, $800 in their bank account and they try to start this. Or I see people message me, yo JT, I only have, whatever, a few $100. I only have $1,200 to get started. Is that enough to really get started and make this work? And the answer is no. Okay, and I'm just gonna be straight up, I'm honest all the time, the answer is no. If you only have 800, if you have, less than, again, there's gonna be exceptions. People have done it for 1,500, have done it for 2,000, but I always like to say 3,000 is a good starting point. And really look at the numbers. What is your goal? How much do you wanna make a month? And then from that, what kind of sales do you need to make from what kind of price product? Right, so if you want to make $3,000 revenue or $5,000 revenue a month, and you're going to sell, looking for products that are selling for like $30, you need to have 160 sales a month. And what does that mean? That means you need to make that, you have enough money to buy 160 units for a month. You need to have enough money to restock. You need to have enough money to buy extra on your first order. You need to have enough money to, consider budgeting, advertising. What's your profit margins going to look like, right? What happens when these products do sell? Like, people always think, what happens if it doesn't work out, right? What happens if my products don't sell? Oh man, I'm screwed, right? But then the people also screw themselves when they don't ask themselves, what happens if my products do sell, right? What happens if all of a sudden in 1 month my inventory is cleared out and I don't have enough money to order my second order? What happens then? What happens if I get stuck? And what happens when I get stuck with cash flow? How can I find more? Can I find more money? Do I have enough money reserved? Do I have to look at financing or something like that? You got to really plan out all situations, all scenarios when you ask yourself, can you afford it? And if the answer is no, you can't afford it, then be honest with yourself and tell yourself, you know what, I can't afford it, but that doesn't mean you can't start this business model. It just means you can't start right now, right? There's nothing wrong with waiting a few months and saving up some money, putting some money aside, and getting ready to actually, when you're ready, you have the money to attack this business model full force and not to have to worry about cutting corners and taking little shortcuts because you couldn't afford certain little things. I really suggest that you attack this business model when you know you're fully ready for it from a financial standpoint, so that it's not more stressful than it has to be. You don't have, this overbearing weight about it. And that, yes, I know it's kind of an expensive business model to get into. There's a higher barrier to entry, but that also means that once you cross that barrier to entry, there's a lot of other people that are still behind you that can't get in. So, it's kind of better, in my opinion, than some of these cheaper business models like affiliate marketing or drop shipping, where anyone can get in with $0. Amazon FBA, it's a real business model. You got to treat it like a real business, and you got to be ready to dish out the cash if you want to make the big returns. All right, so that's the first question. Can you afford it? The second question is the next big fail point that I see. Like, a lot of people who have the money, either they saved it up or they just have it on hand or they have it on a credit card. They're ready to go. Let's go do this. And they go at it and they launch a product and they still fail. Why is that? Because they don't ask themselves, can I devote my focus to this, right? Can you really make this work? Do you have the dedication to make this work out? Because one thing to just have the money and, have a little bit of knowledge on it, and maybe you follow, maybe even you join a program, you launch a product. But if you're half-assing it, or if you're, you're treating it as kind of a hobby or something like on the side, or you're not really taking it seriously, it's not going to work out for you, right? You got to ask yourself, if you're joining Amazon FBA, are you really willing to do what it takes to make it work for you? Are you really going to put in the effort to launch a product, or do you just want to do this because it seems like a cool thing to do? It seems like a fun thing to do. It seems like an exciting, business model, getting shiny object syndrome, where it's just like, you've heard about it. In a few weeks, you're launching products because you feel like, oh, maybe I'm just, throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. If that's your mentality, it's probably not going to work out for you. You got to understand, again, long-term business, time devotion, focus, right? You need that to make this work out. And if you're not willing to do that, then that's okay. But just know that before you waste a few $1,000s on the model. Plan your time out, make a schedule, look at your week, look at your weekends. What can you do? How much can you devote into creating something that's going to, possibly be a 6-7 figure business for you, that's going to create passive income for you once you put in that upfront work, right? Can you put that upfront work in to make it work for you? All right. Then on the next question, and this is going to be a constant question. Now, the first two were kind of, you ask it one time, a little bit of self-reflection, you think about it and you go forward with it. And if both of them are yes, you can afford it, you're willing to devote your focus. Now, at every step of the way, you got to ask yourself, did I miss anything? And this is something I did when I started. Well, not really. This is something I started to do once I started missing things, right? I missed a lot of shit, and I was like, okay, now I need to really think, did I miss anything on this next product, because I don't want to lose any more money on this. So this is kind of more, think about this as, don't take any shortcuts, right? Don't try to speed through it. You got to ask, really, am I doing this properly? Am I dotting my I's and crossing my T's? Am I making sure everything is going properly? Am I making sure I'm doing the best of my ability to really look at this product, really evaluate the market? Some people will see a product, like, hey, this looks pretty good. I'm just gonna go and order that now from Alibaba because I can get it done fast. I can get it done cheap, I can get it done fast, I can get in there, I gotta rush, because the faster I get to market, the more money I'll make. And that's not necessarily the case. If you rush a product to market, it doesn't mean you're gonna make more money. It just means you're gonna have a piece of shit on market quicker. So make sure you take the steps. If it takes you even a month longer because you slept on some things, you really took your time out and you thought you made something quality, that month of developing that product to be really, really good is gonna pay off much better than a month of getting something crappy rushed onto the platform. So make sure you, at every step, when you're evaluating products, when you're getting samples, make sure you get samples, make sure you're looking at it, make sure you're taking your time when you're looking at a market, when you think about how can you differentiate, how can you make yourself better, right? When you're running PPC, make sure when you're running your ads, when you're launching your product, make sure you're doing everything you can to, really beef it out. Make sure you have email set up, email automation. You're building out customer lists and you're doing things, for lack of a better word, by the book. Because of course there's not really a by the book for Amazon, but from what you can gather from other people's experiences, from videos like this, from courses like my program, the Empire Academy, make sure you're really, really taking your time and thinking about it, because there's nothing worse than rushing through this, devoting your time because you figured I can devote focus to this. You devote your time and then it turns out to be crap because you took shortcuts. And that's something that I did. Product photography, everything that's in the process, make sure you really, really care about it. Pour your heart into it and you will see good results. All right, now, bonus question number 4. Okay, number 4, you gotta ask yourself this. After, considering everything, you gotta really ask yourself, why Amazon FBA? Why? If you can't come up with at least 3 reasons for why you're choosing Amazon FBA over a different business model, then you need to really reevaluate, because Amazon FBA is a long-term game. It's long-term, you gotta think for the future. So if you're just getting into it because it's something sensational, it's something like, whoa, cool, it's exciting, then, maybe it's not the right time. You got to really think, why this model? Why not dropshipping? Why not something else? Why not, working 9 to 5? And obviously that's an easy one, but have your why for starting a business and have your why for choosing Amazon FBA. For me, it was the potential of passive income, right? I was, working a job. I had a company of my own, a catering company. So I wanted something that was passive. I wanted something that was low overhead. I wanted to be able to own my own product. So not dropshipping. I wanted to own a product, create a brand so I can possibly exit, sell the company in the future, have minimal employees, something I could do online. Those are kind of my reasons why I chose FBA over everything else. And I had a very specific reason that I wanted to go to FBA, and I knew it. So if you don't know it and you're not really passionate about FBA, then reevaluate. Okay, so those are the top reasons that people are going broke with Amazon FBA. If you answer these questions and you really evaluate and you know what you want, it's a very high chance you're going to succeed. If you're able to, devote your focus, devote your time, and really make this work out, you will be able to make it work out. And if you need more help, make sure to click that video right over there, click my face to subscribe, or click that bottom square to join my free masterclass, where I'm gonna go over a lot of really cool little secrets that I was able to use to grow my business. I'm JT Franco, and don't forget, your empire awaits.
I am made to be free.